Nutrition and diet and physical activity in family med. So this is the topic for this week. And these are my objectives. Okay, so first, to be able to know the different factors contributing to the increased burden of global NCD rise. Okay, so NCD stands for non-communicable diseases, or otherwise known as lifestyle diseases, or nutrition-related, NR, okay, nutrition-related diseases, chronic diseases for that matter, or the non-infectious chronic diseases. Okay, so in general, the big chunk of the diseases that we will encounter actually are either infectious or non-communicable diseases, chronic. Okay, of course, there are acute and then there are chronic, and there are also genetic diseases. Okay, so, and there are also some results of or temporary or permanent disabilities or diseases brought about by physical trauma or accidents. All right. Second, to be able to know the impact of double burden of malnutrition or disease. Okay, so the proper term for this is double burden of malnutrition. However, well, this is a personal take lang. I also interchangeably term it as double burden of disease. Okay, why? You will see later on. Third, to be able to understand the importance of nutrition transition. Okay, so there are a lot of nutrition issues, and it has been a problem, just for your information, no? Ever since, no? But to understand why, okay, so bakit tayo nandito ngayon? Why do we have this certain type of food products? Why? Okay, and we will understand the development of from single burden of a disease to double burden. Bakit nagiging double burden? Okay, so you will see it in the nutrition transition. Fourth, okay, to be able to understand the rules of nutrition and physical activity in health promotion and disease prevention. Of course, this is self-explanatory, but okay, self-explanatory which are being parang sideswept, no? So, but these are very important, and this hopefully, okay, will give you some ideas for your final project, no, in CFM. So I think you will have a final project so on health education. Okay, health education, specifically on promotion and disease prevention. Health promotion rather and disease prevention. Okay, and then fifth, to be able to identify strategies in nutrition and physical wellness. So specifically exercise. Okay, in order to identify strategies, you have to know what is the recommended, no, number of sleep, what kind of exercise to maintain health, not even to manage diseases. So hindi pa tayo nandun. Okay, nasa prevention kasi tayo and maintenance of wellness, no? Okay, management of lifestyle diseases in terms of basic nutrition, but we will not go into, okay, diabetes. Ito yung this is the recommended nutrition management. No. It's just a general overview. Okay. Okay, before we go to these 8 dimensions of wellness, okay, may I ask the first question, okay, are you ready with your piece of paper or your gadget? All right. Okay, so how many people were predicted to go hungry by 2030? Okay, so, nandun yung sa nandun yung sa video. Okay, so first 2 slides. Okay, guys, if you don't know, don't worry. You just, leave it blank. You don't know it, eh. Okay, so don't ask your classmates anymore. Okay, so it's not a good practice. Okay, so if you don't know it, then no answer. That's simple. Okay, so that's the first question. Okay. Now we go to 8 dimensions of wellness. I think you just had the lecture on wellness, and of course, maybe you have a lot of ideas already about wellness. This is just an introductory slide, okay? So to see the importance of nutrition and physical activity. Okay, so there are many authors, no, who have studied and written about wellness. And they present it in different ways. There are different dimensions, no, 10, 12, 10, okay, 6, 3, or even 2 dimensions of wellness. Okay, pero that's too konti. Okay, so now I'm using the 8 dimensions of wellness. Why? Because of the lucky number 8. Okay, so for the Chinese, it's a lucky number. Why? Because it actually represents infinity, diba? So no beginning, no end. No? So paikot-ikot lang. And then double. Okay, so this is infinity, the sign of infinity. So these 8 dimensions of wellness, okay, is illustrated in this number 8. And I would like to focus on the physical. Okay, nakita natin nasa top. Okay, so for me, it's also significant. Pero personal take ko na lang yun. Okay, so physical. So it suffices to say that this is one of the 8 dimensions of wellness, no, by this author. Okay, I forget na. I-google nyo lang, makikita nyo yan. Okay, so, okay, physical. So this is to recognize the need to engage in physical activity, rest, and proper nutrition. Ayan, ito yung tatlong favorite activities which the medical student long for. Long for to have, no? So proper nutrition, okay? So do away with noodles, okay? 3-in-1 coffee, okay? So anyway, and then rest, your sleep, and then physical activity, okay? Okay, WHO. So there's the Global Authority for Health, World Health Organization. Okay, so there's a very specific part there on nutrition. Okay, you can look at it. Okay, so here's the link. Okay, so definitely diet and nutrition are important factors in the promotion and maintenance of good health. And this is throughout entire life. Of course, this is a basic need, okay, nutrition. I don't know if you remember in your bioethics, no, end-of-life issues. So ordinary means to survive, nutrition, okay? Extraordinary means are for example, the ventilator, heart and lung machines. These are extraordinary. Okay, we cannot deprive of a person of the basic necessity, and that is nutrition. Okay, so entire life course. And then we will see in this lecture that diet and nutrition, or nutrition for that matter, proper nutrition, is a very important determinant in developing chronic non-communicable diseases. So what are the example of these chronic non-communicable diseases? Cardiovascular diseases, okay, so diabetes, metabolic diseases, no? Obesity, overweight, no? So they're part of that. So it's already well established. And when we discuss or focus our attention in the adjunct therapy and not direct therapy, management of certain diseases, nutrition can actually offer prevention, no? Prevention activities or help in the management of certain diseases. Okay, so for the objective number 1, let's see at the global burden of disease first. Okay, so when we say global burden of disease, this is a combination of the burden of both, no? Non-infectious and infectious diseases. Okay, those are the 2 major. Okay, syempre, a certain percentage goes to genetically acquired diseases. Okay, but then when we talk about the global burden of disease, so practically the things that we immediately think of, the chronic non-communicable diseases and the infectious diseases. And of course, for 2020 and until now, COVID-19 is one of the major, if not the major, concern for the infectious. Okay, and look at this. 2001, no, chronic diseases contributed approximately 60% of the 56.5 million total reported deaths in the world. Okay, so ang laki, more than half. Okay, more than half of mortality. wala pa dyan yung morbidity. No? When you say morbidity, the risk or the ones who are actually who are suffering from the certain chronic diseases. Okay. And then in total, no, 46% no of that is actually for chronic diseases. So if we look at the global burden of diseases, so almost 50%. Okay, so they predicted that by 2020, okay, the proportion of the burden of NCDs, non-communicable diseases, chronic at that, okay, was to increase to 57%. Now, I didn't get the exact number because probably there was a change already because of the burden afforded by COVID-19. Okay, but this was predicted 2001 pa. No? So, no, hindi naman siguro. Siguro 2010. Okay, so 57%. So again, no, more than 50%. So, and among these non-communicable diseases, so that includes also chronic, so that includes also cancer, no? So, almost half is attributable to cardiovascular diseases. And you've seen in the video that there is really a dangerous, worrying trends of increasing obesity and diabetes. Ayan. Okay, so I told this to the other sections, okay, that being Asians, okay, so this was lectured to us, ever since when we were not so long time ago. Okay, so when I was a medical student, was lectured by a very good endocrinologist in that university along España, Manila, okay, UST, that being Asian, okay, you already have one risk factor of developing diabetes. Okay, so why? Basically because of our nutrition, no? So high carb. Okay, why? Rice eaters. Okay, why rice, especially white rice? Because it has high glycemic index. Okay, so that's what sugar, no? So that's what is being proposed. And I think yes, there's truth to that. Okay, Doc, how about naman the Americans who love also bread, or the Europeans, pasta? These are also carbohydrate filled. Okay, carbohydrates actually mainly. Okay, however, for rice, they say that it has nga high glycemic index. So all of us has 1 point, okay, of being at risk for developing diabetes. Okay, yes, for the sake of we are Asians. Yon, huh? Even if I was born and raised in the United Kingdom, of course, your gene is still Asian, okay, Filipino at that. All right. And then, if your parents or one of your parents has diabetes, so you have 2 risk factors. Okay. And then, third, if you've been eating badly, no, for the past 20 years of your life, hindi naman, for the past 10 years of your life, okay, that will add to it, no? So, if you are overweight, and more so if you are classified obese now, see, whatever the cause is, okay? So, you have 3, okay, 3 ka na. So, 3 risk factors for developing diabetes, no? So, anyhow, what's more alarming is that not only the increasing trend, but also the timing of the onset. Okay, so these problems, obesity and diabetes, which are all nutrition related, no, occur or start early, appear earlier in life. So yan. Okay, so that's the objective number 1. Okay, now we go to what is this double burden of malnutrition? Okay, so the double burden of malnutrition. Actually, there is another phenomenon, no? Some authors now for the past siguro 5 or more than 5 years they term it as, meron pang isa silang dinagdag, it's the triple burden of malnutrition. Okay, so what's that about? Okay, the triple burden of malnutrition, aside from having undernourishment and overnourishment, there's a deficiency which was added, micronutrient deficiency. Okay, that's why it becomes triple burden of malnutrition. But I would like to focus the discussion on double burden of malnutrition. Okay, so as WHO already give us a very good graphics about it. Okay, I will explain it by example. Okay, so the double burden of malnutrition is characterized by the coexistence. Yan, coexistence palagi. Sabay. Well, not sabay because you will see it, hindi naman pwedeng sabay in a life course in an individual. Oo naman, hindi ka pwedeng undernourished and at the same time stunted, at the same time obese. Pwede rin pala. Okay, pwede rin in some other cases. Okay, but my example will not show us. Okay, that but it's actually during the whole life course if we are talking about an individual. Okay, so coexistence of undernutrition, so undernourishment includes wasting, stunting, and micronutrient deficiencies. Kaya dito double burden lang kasi the micronutrient deficiency was included in undernutrition. Okay, for some authors they separate it, kaya nagiging triple burden of malnutrition along with overweight and obesity. When does this being observed? Pwedeng within the individual, in the household, and in the community or population at large. Okay, so now I will explain why I also put it as double burden of disease. No, so for me kasi malnutrition more or less is already an imbalance. No, together with malnutrition, either you're undernourished or obese or overweight. Okay, you will see that you also have development of non-communicable diseases, specifically lifestyle diseases like hypertension, diabetes, okay, dyslipidemia, hyperuricemia, okay, and sometimes cancer. Yon. So sabay na nakikita. Okay, and another thing, so another idea of why it's also a double burden of disease, no? So if you are malnourished, okay, with improper nutrition, your immune system is lower than compared to the ones who have normal growth, normal weight, etc. Okay, so you are prone to develop also infectious diseases because of your weak immune system. So it's really double, no? So aside from having that propensity of getting or the risk of getting infectious diseases because of your state of malnutrition,